I'm Rory Winters, founder and head of performance at Edge of the Box Mentoring.
So Edge of the Box Mentoring started back in 2020. I've been in Singapore around about 4 years at that point. I've watched a lot of the local football, and the one thing that I thought was missing amongst the professional level and lower down was the physical performance and the mental performance of the players here. Technically fantastic, but there's a little bit missing physically and mentally, and I thought that's a perfect niche for me to step into as a professional coach. So therefore I set it up really primarily to help professional players and those aspiring to be professional in the game, and it's kind of worked wonders so far, dealing with up to about 30 professional players now, and I think the physical aspects of their games is elevated, and it's kind of the word spreading amongst the community of Singaporean footballers now that the work we do is imperative to them getting better and better and better. Edge of the Box Mentoring is a football performance company that is set up to help the physical aspects and the mental performance of the footballers here in Singapore. We mainly work in gym-based sessions, track-based sessions, and we do touch on the technical side of things, but with a conditioning element. So we do work on the pitch now and again, but this is always looking at the physical aspects of the game rather than going into details, tactical or technical. That's for the head coaches at the clubs to work on, so I don't touch that area. There's also the mentoring aspect. So the mentoring is super important as to what I do. It's something that really is almost untouched in Singapore and across the world of football in general. Sports psychology, I'm not a qualified sports psychologist, but my background in professional football and then into coaching gives me a little bit of know-how on how to increase mental performance, goal setting, aspirations, realistic really more than anything. And we've seen many players, both male and female, who've worked with me improve mentally and be more confident, be more expressive, be more resilient, these type of things. It's really elevating their game and their performance. Edge of the Box has grown far better than I thought it would. It's really got a great community spirit. We're getting buy-in from a lot of players now from diverse backgrounds, so it is time to expand. I had my first employee, Nadhra, who's come on as a content producer, so she's going to really give exposure to all our players. In terms of being in Singapore, I do want to expand. I want to hit more football players, but particularly professionals or those with the ability to turn professional. I think it's important now that we gain momentum and we build on that momentum that we've built over the past year and a half now to kick to the next level. So I do want to call this a call to all Singaporean professional footballers. Come and join us, come and have a go, have a try. If you don't come and try it, you'll never know what we do. I'm not giving any secrets away, I'm not reinventing the wheel. What I do is I work you hard, I work you fair, I work you smart, and I make you better footballers. That's a guarantee.
Well, when Edge of the Box really started up, really, I was, I guess, the first one, and it was back in 2019 during lockdown, and it was an experiment. I was kind of used as a bit of an experiment to see if it would work, and since then it's just gone on leaps and bounds, and it's levelled up really.
Karan?
I think I've always known Joe through football and stuff like that, and the 2020 season was coming to an end, and I was looking for someone who would be able to help me keep in shape over the the off-season. And I asked Joe, because I've been seeing on his socials, been working with you, and I thought I'd give it a shot, and it's turned into something that we just didn't expect.
Whenever I work with Edge of the Box, it pushes my physical boundaries really, you know, to places where I don't think I can really get to, and I guess it helps your mental health more than anything, to be honest. Even just talking to you, Rory, as a mentor, you know, you give me advice that I need, and it relaxes me and helps me out really.
It just makes, it gives you a whole different perspective on training and the amount of you have to push yourself. But I think as well that the kind of video calls that we do with pros all around the world, that really helps me to gauge where I need to be, what I need to be doing to get there. So yeah.
Plans for this season, ahead, the 2022 season?
I just want to keep enjoying my football, and whatever happens, happens. You know, I'm playing non-league football in the UK right now, so if I can keep performing, then hopefully get to the next level, and who knows how far I can go really.
So I've just signed a new long-term deal with a club here called Lion City Sailors, and my season this year is going to be cut short because of national service. I've got to enlist in the summer, but until then I want to pull through with the under-23s in the league and finish before I get into national service top of the league.
Perfect. Thank you, lads.
I've been living overseas since I was 9 years old. That's when I left Singapore for the first time to study, and I came back summer of 2020. So I enlisted, and I started I mean, I played at a decent level in Hong Kong, and prior to that, I'd say. So when I came back, I wanted to continue, and I definitely had ambitions of maybe testing myself against national team players, because you obviously want to know what sort of level you are stacked against anybody.
Yeah.
So I found it quite difficult to get in. Obviously, between COVID and different other reasons, it was hard to get in at the start. And in the meantime, I wanted to keep fit and try and maintain some sort of level. So between my time in camp, I was getting out on the weekends and working with Rory, edge of the box. And at first I was skeptical about what I could do with 1 day a week, but the intensity of those sessions with yourself and and having the other guys around me as well, the SPL guys, those guys really sort of encouraged me to keep going, because I could see that there was something there. Like, I wanted to compete with them and prove myself. So I mean, between the early morning sessions, the almost vomit-inducing workouts and stuff like that, like, it really gave me that sort of almost like a sickening feeling, but in a good way, that I wanted this. Like, it's something I enjoy, almost pushing myself to that and forcing myself to get out of my comfort zone and keep pushing. Okay, so because I enlisted in July 2020, around that time, I was basically, since I started the army, I've been in every night, because obviously some people get to go home every night, but I have to go back to my camp. So when I could get days off, especially once I started training with Young Lions, I knew my fitness wasn't there. I knew I'd been out for too long and I hadn't been doing the right sort of stuff, because obviously it's hard to replicate training in a team environment. So then I was starting to go to you for one-on-ones outside our usual group trainings and really pushing. And I think in those individual ones, I really realized that, like, I'm going out of my way on a morning, on a Friday, whenever it was, to get this done. And I felt sick after, but I felt 10 times better once I did pass that yo-yo and once I was able to sign and register. Obviously things took their course, and unfortunately I wasn't able to play last year, but like, having to be doing army exercises in the morning and then getting out in the evening and going to a training session with you, or having done a week's worth of jungle training and then coming out and then doing training with you, it was obviously a completely different change of pace, but it was something I needed almost to keep me sane. Yeah. I say there's one definitely defining moment in our relationship thus far. I think it was probably early 2021, and I was just, after a few months of grafting, you know, between yourself and stuff outside, it just wasn't going to plan. You know, I wasn't getting the opportunities I wanted, and I was speaking to some other guys within the industry, and I just wasn't really getting back what I was putting in, I felt like, and I was definitely demoralized, and it reached a point where I couldn't be bothered to come to the session sometimes. I'd find excuses. I mean, it wasn't a multiple time thing, it was just one time, but I think that one time was a wake-up call, because I was like, if this is the sort of mindset I have, that I'm willing to skip a session just because I've been out the night before or something like that, or just didn't feel like it in the morning, then I'm wasting my time. So then we had a chat. Obviously, I know the physical side is just as important as the mental side, so that was something I probably didn't realize until we had that conversation and subsequent conversations. It was just more of like, okay, this is what you could achieve if you kept going, and you never know what you could achieve if you gave up. And I was like, as long as I'm here, I do want to push myself to my limit and see what I can do, because I don't want to turn around in 10 years or 5 years or however long and be like, I could have done this. So we had that call. You basically echoed that to me, and you didn't even necessarily say that much. You just sort of gave me an avenue to vent and vent my frustrations and just talk. And I think from there, you know, a lot of good things came from that. Subsequently, within a couple of days, a couple of weeks, things just started moving, and we were finally rolling. Yeah. So once I did finally get into Young Lions, I think I impressed on trial. I managed to sign, but then there was an issue of some transfer documents, because it's something to do with FIFA and the fact that I'd been playing overseas previously. So I say for about four months, for whatever was the remainder of the season, the second half of the season, I wasn't able to play. So I was training week in, week out, and once I had signed, I anticipated to be in the squad, maybe even make a cameo that first weekend that I signed. But obviously, because of this issue, it came and sort of blocked the whole thing, and that was very, very frustrating, because I've been waiting so long for the opportunity, and then just as I thought I was there, another roadblock. But so is life, and I sulked over it for a few days. I can't lie. I know I put my head down, but after that, I got back on the horse and just said, there's no point being demoralized now. Look, I'm building towards something else, which I didn't know was to come. Obviously, eventually being called up for under 22s and making my debut against Korea, which was a moment I'll never forget. Coming in front of a sold out crowd or a COVID sold out crowd, and having a lot of friends and family members in there, that was a surreal moment. But trying to stay fit during that period and stay motivated was difficult. So other than just team training, I obviously wanted more because I felt like the guys that were playing week in, week out got an advantage over me. Made sure I kept getting that extra bit of that extra bit to keep me going and make sure I could push for something like a national team call up. Yeah.
Perfect.
Maybe the biggest success story so far. After a few months, a young man called Gallagher contacted me with quite a unique story. He was serving NS. He'd been living in Hong Kong previously, but his mother's Singaporean, so he came over to do his NS, and he wanted to get back into the game, or at least maintain his levels. And the minute I met him, I knew he had something about him. He had confidence and assuredness, but also a real desire to learn, and he was very coachable, which as a coach myself is what I look for in anyone that it's not open to everyone. It's, you know, I want people who are coachable. I'll accept everyone in, and then we figure out as we go how to make you more coachable. With Jared, it was almost instantaneous that he was there, he was ready, and he had a goal. So we spoke about our goals, and over the course of maybe 6 months, we really put a lot of work in. So Jared got to know the other professionals, compared himself against them, realised what he was missing, what he was lacking, what he was stronger than them at, and worked on all of it. And together, we did quite a few one-on-one sessions, which I offer, and we got better and better. So he was coming, and this is a dedication it takes, and this is why I'm so proud of him, is he was coming after marches in his full army gear in the morning to lunchtime in the searing Singaporean heat to do a session with me one-on-one, and he was there. Every time he was there, he never cancelled, he didn't ever have an excuse. He was tired, he was worn out at times. It's probably the last thing he wanted to do was him, my northern voice screaming at him, telling him what to do, but he turned up and he showed up. And to cut a long story short, he went on trial, he ended up signing his professional contract, and this is his shirt for Young Lions, which, to be honest, I am personally more proud of this than my own first professional suit shirt, because I saw exactly what it took to get that shirt. And that is, the mantra is that to get your name on the back of a shirt like this is a privilege, and it's not an entitlement. And now my task as Jared's mentor and confidant is to keep him, get the shirt number maybe down to number 8 or a number 4, and make him, or a number 6, and make him the first choice in not only Young Lions but the Singaporean under 22 national team, and to kick on and kick on. And wherever he goes next, I fully believe that with his attitude, he'll be a super success. But if everyone else in Singapore has that ambition and that desire, I've seen it, we've done it, Jared's done it, but we did it together, and we helped each other along. And I believe that there is many more Jared Gallaghers out there in Singapore that I can help. I care, and I think if you have any doubts, please speak to these guys that I've worked with. You know, I'm not paying them to speak highly of me. I'm pretty sure they will, and they'll be honest and open. And yeah, I look forward to working with many more players in Singapore over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, however long I'll stay. I won't be here forever, I don't think, but for as long as I'm here, I'll be making professional footballers better.
I was looking to get more athletic, more ready for like the college level, because it's close to being like the professional level. And Rory, who had a lot of background with football, I just feel like it would be the best to work with him in terms of gym work, endurance, and like fitness to get ready for college soccer in the US.
Perfect. Did it prepare you well?
Yeah, certainly. I just feel like the stuff I did with him, it gave me more power and more strength, which helped me, of course, like compete with guys in the US who are like more physical, bigger, and more explosive.